Welcome to Durbania. I'm Rapthorn.
I'm Durbin.
And today on Reading Way Too Much Into, we're going to do Inception.
Inception.
Yeah.
Ball. Ball.
I got to say, before we read way too much into this, absolutely one of my all-time favorite movies.
It is a great movie. It is a great movie.
My goodness. When this thing came out, I was like, dude, I got to watch this again.
The ending made me mad. Because I want to know if it was real or not, but I also like not knowing, but I want to know!
Man.
Christopher Nolan, you can go ahead and leave a comment here below and let me know if it was real, please. Thank you.
That stupid top, it just as it looked like it might be, up, they cut it. And it's like, you can't tell. It was at that point where it could have just been a little meh, or it could have been a start of it actually toppling. Christopher Nolan, well done.
Yes.
In that
please
ending.
Tell me in the comments.
Tell us, please. Please.
You're our best friend. Reading way too much into this. There is so much you could do or say as you're reading into this movie. But one of the biggest things that stood out to me in this movie, I mean, it's the plot itself. And the whole story of this movie is to incept somebody. But what it really is, it's manipulation. It is going into somebody's core and manipulating and bending them towards your will. And that's the whole point of what they were doing. Get this guy to believe this so he will divide up the empire and it will not become this giant monopoly. So that was the whole point. And what was interesting to me as I was watching the movie and I was thinking about this, our enemy out there, the devil, he works overtime at this whole process of inception. Because what he tries to incept is the idea that you're ugly. You can't do this. You can't do that.
I'm not smart enough.
I'm not smart enough. I'll never get this. I'll never this. I'll never that. I'm too this. Yeah. I'm too that. All that negativity, it's amazing because he goes to incept that idea in us. In other words, gets us to believe it is our idea.
Yeah.
Manipulating our core to follow that so we can walk in this deception rather than truth. And which is why I think the downhill thing with this kind of deception is so much easier than the uphill thing, which is what Jesus brings. He brings the uphill thing of trying to tell you, no, you're not too fat. No, you're not ugly. Yes, you can do this, and yes, you can do that. Oh, and by the way, you are loved more than you could ever imagine.
And you're worth that love.
And you are worth that love because he put that worth on you, knowing everything about you.
That's right.
But sometimes it's hard, I think, to accept that because Jesus isn't trying to incept the idea. He's trying to say, no, I want you to believe it because it's true. Right. But he's not going to reach inside and do that manipulation thing that, what they did in this movie Inception. Jesus is a gentleman. He stands at the door and knocks, and it's up to us to open the door and welcome him in. And I think that's why when the lie gets in there and we take it and believe it's our own idea, it's the hardest thing in the world to get out of our heads. Yeah. But if we let Jesus come in, he will help us in that process.
He does some great house cleaning once he comes in.
Yes,
too,
he does.
So one of the things that really stuck out for me was Leonardo DiCaprio's character, how he holds on to the idea of his wife and all of the memories that he has with his wife consumes him so much.
Oh, yeah. He won't let go of his mistakes.
He won't let go of his mistakes. He cannot function in the dream world the way he needs to. He has to have someone else create the dreams because he's so consumed with Maul that he can't create a world where she's not going to ruin it. And it's like when we lose loved ones.
Yeah.
I recently just lost my grandmother, and I could be consumed by that. I could be consumed by the loss of my grandmother and go into a depression and really just not function correctly because of this loss for someone that I love so deeply. But through Jesus and through his word, he tells us that we will see our loved ones again. If they've given their life to Christ, you will see them again in heaven.
And what you're saying, something that stands out to me is, God is love. And he so loved us, he gave his only son for us. And so what is so awesome to me is, I have a grandpa that I'm not 100% about who is gone. But what I do know is God is love. And even to the last breath, he is working and moving on every single human being's heart. God is so good. He's reaching out to every human being at every possible moment of all of our lives to extend that love.
And that's great, because if you have, a loved one or anyone that you know that has passed and you're not really sure, just know that he tried to the very last moment. And even if we weren't there to know, you can take solace in the fact that he didn't give up on him. So you shouldn't either.
Which is what gives us comfort in the fact that we can let go. I mean, we can grieve, because that's an important process to go through. But we don't have to be consumed. We don't have to be beat down. We don't have to let bad choices or mistakes haunt us. And we don't have to be incepted with lies that we aren't worth it, because we are completely loved.
Absolutely.
What did you think of Inception? Make sure to let us know in the comments. Also, make sure to subscribe and hit us up on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Durbin.
And I'm Rapthorn.
Thanks for checking out Durbania.